we consider this budget at a moment when California lags behind the rest of the nation in almost every way. Not because of a virus, which hit every state, but because of our government's response. For the last 15 months, California has been a national outlier in all the worst ways. We've had the longest school closures, the most punishing lockdowns, and the nation's worst performing bureaucracy. And the results speak for themselves. Achievement gaps in our schools have exploded. Our unemployment rate has been close to the worst in the country. When it comes to unemployment claims, both the backlog of unresolved claims and the scale of fraudulent claims is unsurpassed, and our public health outcomes are among the worst in the country, with an excess mortality rate higher than 44 states. But this underperformance isn't just a retrospective analysis. It continues into the present with among the nation's weakest economic recoveries. About half of the jobs that were lost have been recovered, a mere half. Small business openings are down 40%. Of those small businesses that remain open, 40% are understaffed. This last month, we added just 12,000 workers. Now, part of the problem is the state is irrationally clinging to a pandemic mentality. We refuse to end our state of emergency, even though the state of New York, for example, has. We're still wearing these, even though Dr. Fauci himself is testifying in Congress without one. I'm not sure what message that sends. But the other part of the problem is that we have been planning for failure. In the governor's January budget proposal, the Department of Finance estimated that unemployment would be 8.5% for this entire year. At the time, some states already had an unemployment rate half of that, and our Department of Finance was saying 8.5% for the year. In the same document, it forecast that unemployment would not return to pre-pandemic levels until 2025, a 5-year recovery. So that is the economic context for today's budget, is economic malaise that was consciously planned and is being needlessly perpetuated. So I want to give you a description of the budget in the governor's own words. Here's how he described this California comeback plan. He said, more dollar signs for stimulus check. More dollar sign for small businesses. More dollar sign for our kids. More dollar sign to clean our streets. More dollar sign to fight wildfires. I don't know exactly what that is, but it's not governing. It's not leadership, and you don't need to take my word for that. Listen to the governor's own mental health czar, who said that the problem when it comes to homeless, it's not a money problem, it's a leadership problem. Yet here we are throwing $12 billion more at it without actually finding any real solutions. Real political leadership would seek to get our economy back at full tilt as quickly as possible while providing a foundation for a sustained recovery. That would include financial relief that is meant to provide a real social safety net where it's needed, but provides the right incentives for people to be able to return to work. And by the way, that includes making sure parents can return to work by having every school in this state be open full-time for this coming school year. No excuses. There is so much other low-hanging fruit if we had a budget that was growth-oriented and public-spirited. We could forgive all COVID-related fines, penalties, and license revocations. We could provide liability protection for businesses. We could reform PAGA and other litigation traps. We could offer meaningful tax relief, such as net operating loss carrybacks. We could remove arbitrary barriers to work, like AB 5. We could address the so-called surplus with durable tax reform rather than arbitrary one-time payments.
30 seconds.
For 170 years, the population of this state grew. This last year, it declined by 182,000 people. We just lost a seat in Congress for the first time ever. This used to be the state where anyone could get ahead. It's now the state that many can't wait to leave behind. But I, for one, don't view my job as divvying up the spoils on a sinking ship. It is not too late to turn things around if we start making better choices, and I look forward and I'm hopeful that the day will soon arrive when California can start leading the nation in the right ways again.